What's going on, Dragon Ball fam? It's your boy Eddie Hilaire coming at you again with our top 5 picks for red. We start off with yellow, then we hit up black. So now we are going to discuss red. But before we get into this video, I just want to let you guys know that if you're in the area today, Friday, June 23rd, if you're in the Columbus, Ohio area, PPG is hosting a Origins Game Fair event. And tomorrow, which is June 24th, Saturday, if you are in the Philadelphia region, PPG is hosting another event at the Too Many Games Convention. All right. With that being said, now let's get into it. So this right here is symbolic and representative of the red decks. These are all like the top tier, um, best red secret rares in my opinion. So the first deck I want to talk about is Sun Goku, aka Sun Goku, Supreme Warrior, aka the U7 deck, U7 Sun Goku, right? So reason why this is the first deck that I want to talk about is because of before the power creep, right? Prior to the power creep of set, I believe 17, where pretty much the Z fighters were introduced, like the Dawn of Legends, for all the Z deck and all that good stuff. This deck was the deck that reigned supreme, right? This was the original one star ball. Essentially, the difference is when one star ball came out, it was a direct power creep because the one star ball did exactly what this deck wanted to do, but just way better, right? So now that the one star ball is gone, all those players who did like the U7 Goku engine can now still play it. The deck itself is fairly affordable. A lot of the stuff are super super cheap. Deck is really good. Puts a high amount of aggression. Now, one of the biggest pros with this deck is once again your opponent is put in a conundrum, right? And we discussed this when we discussed the Black Zeno Trunks leader. Your opponent's put in a conundrum where, hey, you either clear the board, leaving you at high life, or you either attack life, leaving you with a board full of fighters to win the game. Um, Deck is super crazy to play around because everything that they play is essentially a one drop threat. All the good stuff, right, is a one drop threat. Now they're bombed or four drops or two drops, but the majority of their stuff is just one drop threat, which is really good. So, moving into the top two one drop threats, it's going to be the Android 17, the Universe's Survival, and Golden Frieza, the Universe's Survival. So, essentially, the Android 17 you play, it's a double strike threat that, look, when you attack, you look at the top five cards, you look at the top three cards of your deck and add one mono red U7 card from among them and place the rest of the cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. Really good, really solid. It's a one drop that searches out whatever you got. Notice how I said so it adds up to one mono red universe 7 card. It doesn't have a cost. It doesn't say 1/3 or less, 1/4 or less. It just says add up to one mono red universe 7 card. So that by itself is insane, especially when you combine this with a free super combo. Because sorry, I think I'm sick. Because your effect is Sparking 7 and your super combos are live, which you have Sparking 5. So really efficient, especially if you drop your super combo on it to make it a quick 25 double K strike. Next card I want to discuss is the Golden Frieza, right? Golden Frieza, once again, you also play it for one. It's a dual attack. When this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gains negative 15k power for the turn. So it gives you outs to things such as like some monsters. Because there's more cards in here in this archetype, in this deck itself, that neg cards attack power. So it does give you that fortunate thing. Especially if they use an Eddie negate on you, it's fine. You just pay one, and then you can negate with this guy, or there's another Goku. There's a plethora of ways for you to get rid of low cost cards, even high cost cards as well. So we talked about the top two one drop battle cards, the one drop ones. Now we're talking about the bosses, right? Obviously, we have I believe this is the first God rare. We have the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta Unbridled Power. Completely insane in this deck. You get the full effect in this deck. If you mill it, you get to add it back with your leader. I don't know what else to say about this deck. Deflect, really good, really solid. Broken card. Next card we have the Son Goku Ultra Mastery. Both of these did receive a boost with Dirty Burst being gone. So yeah, these are pretty much going to be willy nilly dropped and swung with because I mean it's solid, right? Especially this 8 drop Son Goku Ultra Mastery. The Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta Unbridled Power would most likely probably still just be dropped and then activate main so you don't hit any battle tricks. But this Son Goku Ultra Mastery, solid because it's an on attack auto. So once per turn, sparking 20. When this card attacks, your opponent reveals their hand. Choose up to one card. I want to specifically highlight that. Choose up to one card, not battle card, not extra. Choose up to one card, right? So that means anything with an energy cost of 7 or less from it and discard it. Super, super good, super, super solid. Next deck I want to talk about is our boy Jiren. Jiren Blind Destruction. He is back. This deck is going to put out massive, massive, massive amounts of attack and damage. And you guys will just wait and see because this I'm gonna jump on this deck back. I think I started playing this back in the day. It was like me, Juha, as well as Giancarlo, and we were doing a little bit with it. Then we put it down, but we're gonna pick it back up and we're gonna show you guys the way. Jiren is really good. Um, Auto, the front side, Spirit Boost. It's also on the back side itself, so we'll just read it once. You must remove a marker from your unison card to activate this skill. When your opponent attacks, choose up to one red Jiren card in your hand with Evolve skill. Pay this skill for the chosen card's Evolve skill, then play it on top of a battle card that meets its Evolve requirement. So essentially, you're going to play your one drops for free, and how you do that is by disactivate main on the Unawakened side. Activate main once per turn. Add up to one card from your life to your hand. Look at the top 7 cards from the top of your deck. Play up to one red U11 card with an energy cost of 1 among them in rest mode. Then shuffle your deck. So essentially, what you're gonna do is you're gonna pay your Jiren. After you play your Unison, you have a bunch of battle tricks to destroy anything that's 25 or less. You can go higher than that, but 25 or less is like the key number, like the key spot. You can go higher and take more, but once again, it's easier to do 25 or less because once they play a card, they attack with it. You can Wolfang Fist it for free because you have Unison in place, so that's instantly neg 15, and then you could use your Spirit Boost effect. So Spirit Boost 1 to evolve the Jiren, I think it's Defending Might, which negs something 10k, and also it replaces itself, it draws a card. So you could instantly, like at instant speed, take something out as 25 or less, which is really, really good. As a traditional Awaken, when your life is at 4 or less, you may draw one card, switch up to one energy to active mode, then flip this card over. So on the Awaken side, it's super busted, man. When this card attacks, draw one card, really, really good. Auto, limit 2. I mean, you can only activate this twice per turn. So when one of your red Universe 11 cards evolves, this card gains 5k power for the turn. So it's really, really good, really vital essentially because you're gonna get a 10k boost just based off this. And then with your 8 drop, you'll see that you get another 5k boost. So in sense, you can make your leader a 30k attacker, which is really, really solid. And if you're playing the Vegeta card that you pay 1 to restand your leader, you can make him 35k attacker and restand it. So it's pretty much a dual attack 35k attacker, which is really, really good because nowadays, unless you're playing yellow with Release from Evil, it's really hard to interact with leader swings. So the Spirit Boost 1 effect is the same as the Unawakened side, so we're not going to go over that. These are the Evolve targets. Oh, I did it backwards. These are the one drop Jiren battle cards, right? So we have Jiren Thirst of Power. This one essentially searches all your Jiren cards. When this card is played, look at the top 5 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to one Jiren card or one red Unison with a specified cost of 1 among them and add them to your hand, shuffle your deck. We're just going to add Jiren cards, maybe. Notice that it does not have a cost restriction. It just says add one Jiren card. Jiren the Avenger. When this card is played, draw one, activate main, pretty much limit 1. Where is it at? What is this start? If your leader card is red, Universe 11 card, choose up to one card in your hand, discard it, aka Quetzalcoatl, and place this card at the bottom of your deck from the drop area. Add up to one red Jiren with an energy cost of 5 or less, and evolve skill from your deck to your hand, and shuffle your deck afterwards. So really good, solid way of perfect synergy with Quetzalcoatl. Perfect way to search your deck. Really, really solid. And this Jiren Tempered Form TP, we're basically just using him to draw a card because we're not playing the Topo Force of Obliteration. But if you are playing the Topo Force of Obliteration, when you play this card, you may draw one card. If you don't, play up to one Topo Force of Obliteration from your hand with a marker on it. Activate main, send this card from your drop to your warp, choose up to one Topo Force of Obliteration in your Unison area and add a marker to it. So if you are playing that, this TP is a plus for you. Before we get there, then we have the Evolve targets, right? The Evolve targets, this is what I was talking about before when they attack. So if you have Unison in play, you Wolfang Fist it, and then you have this Jiren Devastating Might. Essentially, what this card does is when this card is played, draw one card and shoot up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gains negative 10k power for the turn. You also have Jiren Surge of Strength, which is a dual attack. EX evolve limit 1. Pretty much you can evolve it over a red Jiren, cost energy cost of 1 or 4. When this card would be removed from your battle area by your opponent's skill, you may place 2 cards from under this card in its owner's drop area, or add 1 card from your life to your hand instead. When this card is played, draw one. Nice because these evolved targets pretty much recycle themselves because they're replaced, right? When this card is played, draw one and choose up to one of your red. Use 11 leader cards or battle cards. Other than this card, it gains 1k power for the turn. So if you do this defensively, you could in sense give your leader sense being right because your leader would now be 16k. So now in order to attack it, whether it's 16 or 20, it's essentially being effect because now all the 15ks needs to combo 5k, right? So whether it's 20 to 16 or 20 to 20, it's essentially being effect that I'm talking about. Now the boss card in his deck, Jiren Zenith of Power, Double Strike, EX Evolve Limit 1. If you have 3 or more energy, red Jiren card with energy cost of 4 or 5. That's how you evolve it over. When this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and it gains negative 35k power for the turn. And you can't play non-Universal 11 battle cards for the turn. Activate main, place 1 card under this in its owner's drop area. Switch this card to active mode, and you may have your red leader get 5k power for the turn. That's what I was talking about. How easily you can bring your leader to a 30k leader. All right, next red deck that I want to mention is Vegito. This Vegito deck, it was kind of hit with the Sensu Bean hit, right? Because prior to Sensu Bean being errated, this deck was absolutely insane because I was dropping bombs left and right with this. But now it kind of slowed down. But the reason why I want to include it in here because it's still a good solid deck, right? The leader itself still does a lot instant speed removal, which I'll just get into it right now. Um, you have floodgates designed specifically for this deck, such as Vegeta Resolving Youth, right? Don't forget it was errata to if your leader card is a red Vegito, but the counterplay for Resolving Youth, if the battle card being played is 15k power or less, place it in the owner's drop area. Instead of being played, then play this card. Really, really good, really, really solid. Same thing with Vegeta protecting his loved ones, going against the blue decks and D Magic, Weakest Coercion, and anything that negates any untap, right? When this card is played, draw 1 card so it instantly replaces itself. Auto once per turn when your opponent switches their energy to active mode using counter skill, place up to one of your opponent's life and 1 card in your opponent's energy in their drop area. So it's the ultimate punishment, right? Now here's the leader I was talking about. This is what pushed it over the edge. It's a Z leader for 1, double strike, over your red Vegeta leader. It still has the same effect where your Sun Goku and Vegeta cards are treated as red, blue, and green in all areas. If you have 3 or more energies, the first activate main. There's 2 of them. The first one is if you have 3 or more energy and you choose one of your Vegito Z battle cards, play up to 1 Vegito card with energy cost of 8 from your hand on top of the chosen card. Then you have a second activate main, which is super, super good because it gives you instant removal on your turn. Once per turn, place 1 card from your hand at the bottom of your deck. Draw 2 cards and choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and return it to its owner's hand. That's insanely good because it ignores barrier and it's your leader, so it's hard to dodge this effect, right? Now here are the 8 drops that we have to target for using your leader's first activate main. You have the Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, the Savior. So this card right here is really, really good specifically against yellow because let's say, okay, cool, right? It's a dual attack critical. When this card attacks twice in the same turn, it gains double strike for the duration of the turn. So let's say you play the Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, the Savior, you attack against yellow, they use a riposte, right? You didn't attack with your leader yet, or you didn't attack with anything else yet. So you attack with this again, and then you rest your leader because it doesn't draw you a card, or you rest anything else. This instantly becomes a double strike 30k critical base, which is completely insane. Now, you also have your secret rare. Busted target, my bad for the phone. Busted target. Triple strike ultimate energy exhaust. If your opponent has 6 or more energy or has 6 or more cards in rest mode, reduce the cost of this card in your hand by 3. So make sure that your opponent does not have that because it will not no longer be an 8-drop, meaning you cannot use your leader's effect because it specifically states 8 drops. So when this card is played, you look to 4 of your opponent's cards, switch them to rest mode, and draw 4 cards. Super busted. So for free, you're arresting 4 cards and drawing 4. That's insane. Next target you have is Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. What is that? Paralysis. Deflect, triple strike, barrier. Those stats are insane. Deflect, Triple strike barrier. That's all it is. And that's the only thing you can use because you're not a Trunks Blue Trunks future leader. So it's a base 35k deflect triple strike barrier. That's all you can say about that. Next card and red archetype that I want to discuss is the Son Goku and Vegeta, aka the Gogeta BR deck. Right? Super insane, super busted. One of my favorite decks because I played this a while ago. Um, the deck filters like crazy. To activate main, choose one red Son Goku BR or one red Vegeta BR from your hand and place it in your drop area. Draw two cards and choose up to one life. Add it to your hand. Busted. When this card is at 4 or less, you may draw one card and choose up to one of your energy, switch it to active mode and flip this card over. When this card attacks, draw one card. Now in Awaken side, activate battle. This is really good. They don't negate your attack. I want you guys to realize something. I'm about to read it first. Choose one red card from your hand and place it in your drop area. If there are two or more red Son Goku BRs and two or more red Vegeta BRs card in your drop area, and it's your turn, your opponent can activate counter skills with energy cost of two or more for the duration of the turn. And this card gains 5k power and double strike for the duration of the turn. One thing I want you guys to realize is it does not say when this card attacks, so you can make your opponent an attack with anything else, and then still use activate main to lock your opponent out of counter skills, which cost two or more. This is representative of the drop power and awakening in your deck. So Gogeta Time for Payback is just representative of all the union pieces that you have. It also filters itself and replaces itself. You attack with anything else, you combo it off, then you can grab it back with the next card, which is Vegeta Preparing for Battle. That's how you recycle all your Union Fusion pieces, and the Son Goku Godly Aura is how you quickly awaken. Now moving on to the boss cards, we have the Super Saiyan Gogeta facing fierce foes. This is the this is the Z battle card that pretty much allows you to play this next card, which is the 8 drop Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta critical combination. Really busted because if you're doing this as early as turn 2, it's a triple strike dual attack. Your opponent's not going to be able to stop this. Their floodgates are usually not going to be live by then, or they're going to have to burn 2 negates. So off right, this card has became this card too, right? Then after you have this Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta critical combination, you also can play this Broly, SS4 Broly, the Great Destroyer Secret Rare. Don't attack with this card unless you're going for a game. I've seen multiple times people had game, and then they just attack with this card. They negated it, whatever the case may happen, and next turn they destroyed it, and now this deck was shut off. So when you're playing this deck, make sure if you sit on this SS4 Broly, the Great Destroyer, just sit on it. That's barrier, so it's protected. Alright, last but not least, final deck. I was going to leave this screen blank because there's a lot of other red decks, but I remember my boy Tim Palacios, and this deck did fairly well last set in a meta where SS4, 1-star ball, and everything was played. So I couldn't, realistically speaking, say, no, keep this off the list. So the fifth and final spot is Pan. Pan, auto, once per turn, when you play a battle card, choose it, and it gains 5k power for the turn. If this card raises that card's power to 20k or more, draw one card. When your life is at 4 or less, or you have 3 or more Z energy, you may draw one card, switch up to one of your energy to active mode, add cards from your life to your hand until you have 6 life left. So it's an alternate awakening condition, which is really good, and it's exactly what this leader needed, right? Auto, once per turn, it's the same exact thing as the unawakened side. So when this card attacks on the awakened side now, when this card attacks, draw one card. Activate main once per turn. Choose up to one of your red Z battle cards with an energy cost of 2, and it gets 5k power for the turn. So this right here is just symbolic of the turn 1 plays. Turn 1, you have Pan United Emotions, pretty much permanent. If your leader is a Pan card, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1. When you play it, you're going to draw a card because it's a 15k, and your leader's going to give it 5k, which is going to push it over to 20k. So if this card power is 20k or more, when this card attacks, look at the top 5 cards from the top of your deck. Add up to one red sand card with energy cost of 5 or less, or one red unit with a specified cost of 3 or less among them, and then front to your hand and then shuffle your deck. So really good because on turn 0 it just becomes a draw 1, but on turn 1 this becomes a draw 2 because you're adding as well as you're drawing 1 from Pan. Now is your turn 2 and on plays. You have the SS4 Son Goku since his return. This card is insane. Deflect. When this card attacks, use up to one mono red Saiyan with 5k combo power from your drop area and a combo with his skills negated for the turn. Activate main, limit 1, burst 2. That's how you get cards in your drop in order to use that effect. If your leader card is a Pan and you have 2 or more energy, play this card from your hands. That's how you essentially have the ability to use your first auto because you're going to burst to play it for 1 instead of trying to pay 4. Activate battle, limit 1. If this card is in battle, draw 1 card, switch this card to active mode, and it gains 5k power for the turn. The attacks that you're going to get on this is insane. So essentially, the first time is going to be 25k because you're still comboing, and you're going to attack again. So now you have the Great Ape Son Goku, the aggressor. This card is perfect synergy with the SS4 Son Goku, Defender of Life, because this guy says we can do this the easy way and just take damage, or we can do this the hard way and just burn you and continuously burn you. And then once you get to turn 4, you could use the activate main on the Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku Defender of Life, which reads activate main once per turn. If your leader card is Pan Oni card, you have 4 more energy and a Great Ape Son Goku, the aggressor, which is the card featured on the left, is under this card. This card gains 5k power and dual attack for the turn. It's even more savage because if you read the Great Ape Son Goku, the aggressor, it says the second auto, if your leader card is a Pan, when this card is placed under one of your Z battle cards, the Z battle card gains 5k power for the turn. 5k power and the following skills for the turn. So the following skills is when this card attacks, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gains negative 25k power for the turn. That's completely insane. So it gives an extra 5k. Your leader gives an extra 5k, which is going to put at 30k base. Double strike. If you're on turn 4, you tap 1, it's going to be a dual attack 30k base. Card's completely insane, man. And then before that, if you have 2 or more energy, the first auto on a Great Ape Son Goku, the aggressor, is unique, by the way. If your leader is a Pan card and your opponent has 2 or more energy, at the end of battle, where this card is used in a combo from your hand, play this card from your drop. So essentially, defensively, this gives you a way to keep hand advantage while comboing out of attacks. So that was it for my top 5 red decks. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Do me a huge favor if you like videos like this. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell and hit all. Please leave a like, comment, and once again, subscribe and hit that notification bell for all. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you again next time. Love you guys.